Hello and welcome back to the 27th Veterans Park Open from Arlington, Texas, presented by Legacy Discs and Ideal Discs. We've got big sexy commentary for you here. Myself, Nate Sexton, and Jeremy Koling.
Eagle went with a solid front nine, staying away from too many costly bogeys, separating himself from the field 6 under. Miles Seaborn at 3 under. We saw Bradley Williams take a couple of really big numbers. He fell back a bit, but starting things off here with the very difficult to approach 395 feet uphill. Not even the drone can fly there straight, so you can imagine what these discs are going to have to do.
Yeah.
And we just can't emphasize enough how incredibly windy day one has been here at the BPO.
Definitely. Eagle most likely going PD2.
Oh no,
this could go out of bounds.
Wow, it has a fortunate bounce back inbounds, but man, that thing took a direct line straight right OB. That could have been disastrous. Bradley
trying to keep it really low.
And he has done so. And I mean, that was a great throw. And look what he has left. He still has 100 feet left uphill.
Yeah.
Such a difficult hole. And Chad with a beautiful pipe job right down the middle.
Great shot there.
Jeez, and he...
Not much reward.
I mean, I feel like you might have to throw this thing 500 feet. I guess the perfect airspace is up in that kind of field goal gap up between the two trees.
Yeah.
And somehow Miles has avoided hitting anything altogether. He is pretty far off to the left, but really not much in the way from there.
Yeah. And Coda, we know he has huge power, so let's see if we can make something happen here.
Oh, and it looks like he just caught the edge of a branch. Still gets the same distance as Brad and Chad. Doesn't have a rhyming name, but he's up there the same distance.
And Eagle just barely inbounds, going with the forehand approach and almost sticks it, but was it a terrible break? Oh, it looks like he might still be close enough.
Wow. Running a clinic right now, Eagle is. Yeah. And a good approach there.
Nicely done from Chad.
This is right in that distance where you can get a bit of aggressive because there is that uphill. And it looks like maybe Miles was trying to. I can't quite tell if he was or not, but yeah, all these players are just kind of in that same range where it's like, I want to give it a run. And Coda has just over the top. But that's going to be the result you're going to see 9 times, or maybe 99 times out of 100.
Eagle with a good par save there.
Yeah, that was almost a really bad break, but excellent second shot. Hit the basket. And we're going to see all 5 players here walk away from this hole with a 3, and that's essentially a birdie in these conditions for this hole, as difficult as it is.
Yeah, it doesn't appear there's much opportunity to reach the pin with the wind that there is, because these guys are big power throwers and nobody was really even challenging the green.
No. So, no harm, no foul. 5 threes. Let's move on.
Hole 9, a little downhill shot, 247 feet. We saw Bradley chain out of the dead center of the basket, really, for an ace in round 1. So let's see if we get any fireworks here. You're going to have to keep it as low as you can and throw something overstable that hyzers around this corner, but you need to really control the skip, because if it skips big, you can see this green kind of slopes away on all sides.
Yeah, I'm hesitant to call it a chain out. Chain out to me sounds like right side chains falls out.
Yeah,
it was
a
dead center spit out right in the middle.
That looks
Eagle
perfect.
has, yeah. A bit wide. He was very wide during round 1. Made a bit of an adjustment there. He's a bit closer now. And I am not sure what disc this is exactly, but he looks to have this hole locked down here. That's 2 for 2 with really nice looking shots. Chad with good
Chad
pace.
getting around the corner.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about. You have to be weary of going too far left. That gets down there very quick.
Yeah.
Really wide by miles, but the justice that he's throwing there, again, that's just an assumption. I'm not sure if that is a justice or not, but based on his flight characteristics, it definitely seems like it is one.
Yes.
Oh,
wow. Stop. Oh, big skip from Coda. Hard to tell how much he got through those bushes. Chad lays up nicely.
yeah, not much else he could do from there.
Oh, man. Nice effort.
And this has kind of been all round for Miles, just a bit off in the putting green. Ooh. And kind of saw the same drop for both Miles and Eagle there.
Wow.
Punishing. Brutal.
Looks like we've got another par frame. This one a little more disappointing than the last.
Yeah. Even in this wind, you know, there's a lot of ways to get to the green, and it's more protected than other greens. As you can see, the foliage is pretty thick in this area. But that being said, you still see a ton of rufflage here with the leaves. So there's really no place where you can avoid this Texas wind here.
No way. Hole 10, par 3, 291 feet uphill and slightly to the left. This is going to be a huge crush in these conditions. These guys are going to have to go super overstable, get it up as high and wide as they can without risking too much impact from the wind. But I think it's a birdie opportunity. Even Eagle might even have shown us a forehand here last time. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, I think it's really important to really make sure that you're playing the top of the flight plate against the wind. And maybe the wind was a bit different, and Eagle doesn't like it at all. That's straight out of his hand. He turned around in disgust, and I don't know why he did that.
Yeah, such a bad shot. That is pretty embarrassing, but he'll have to deal with a tap-in birdie now.
That's your punishment. And it was either two things. You know, we see Michael Johansson throw a great shot, and he doesn't watch the flight plate. He turns around and walks straight back to his bag because he knows that it's perfect. It was either that or he hated it and got extremely lucky. I don't know which one it was.
I do. It was the second one.
Okay. I seem to agree with you here.
Chad stays a little low and a little bit wide. Miles is getting some wind action out there.
Wow, look at that thing dancing up there.
And he's going to have to watch out for snakes.
Yep, there's a lot of snakes right there where his disc landed. I've been there. And this looks nice, but man, it's just so hard to tell what the wind's going to do here. It's smashing it. It's trying to get through. He's got an outside look. He's got about, 40 feet left for Coda there.
Yeah.
It's kind of an outside look. And I feel like it's only fair to call Chad Chadley if we've got a Bradley on the card. So Chadley just a bit off to the left. And here's Bradley just off the top. Man, we still haven't really seen a highlight putt. You know, Chadley made a nice 35-footer on one of the last holes of the front nine.
Yeah, uphill.
You don't really see putts made in these conditions, but, a league card, you still expect maybe one or two good outside the circle putts.
I still think we've got a chance to see one here.
I'm hoping for one. That's a great putt right there from Coda.
Really
good
is.
Par putt. Save there. That's going to keep him at 1 under par for the round, which is the second best score behind Eagle. When he taps this one in, he'll be at 3 under for the round. And I mean, it's really interesting to see how much separate separation he's getting right now just by being only 3 under through 11 holes.
Yeah, that's what the wind will do, though. I mean, everybody else is getting a few more bogeys, just having that unfortunate hole where you get behind the trees, can't quite get the layup close. Thus far, Eagle has basically been able to avoid that kind of stuff.
Picks up the only birdie here.
Four-stroke.
And Miles he's 2 over par, but he's still in second place, which is really goes to show you how difficult these conditions are.
Yeah, and this hole, look out, hole 11, a par 3, just 300 feet, but elevated basket sitting there in the Texas Lone Star, and as we talked about in our first round coverage, this hole, a perennial contender for windiest hole in the world.
I mean, there's just nothing around it. I mean, the star protector is not going to keep the wind away. We're going to see Eagle try the forwards going thumber this time. And
looks like he's executed it really well.
It's going to take the world's longest thumber thrower to throw 300 feet in this headwind. Man.
I got to think he's not really caring too much about the birdie. He's just trying to get up and over, get an easy layup.
Sure. And that was Brad put enough on it to get out the gap safely, but that headwind slowed it down just enough and turned it over just to get that little bit of the tickle from the edge of the branch, and that was all it needed to slow it down to almost a crawl. Barely gets out the gap after that hit.
Yeah. It's a long 300.
And maybe the world's longest 300 feet that's not a huge elevation difference.
Yep.
And Miles really trusting that turnover. Fantastic throw there, man. He had a great shot round 1. Didn't quite get inside the star. Gets inside the star this time. Look at that trust there, right at the edge.
Just touches it, and then look at the skip going 0 miles an hour when it lands.
Bad break. That really deserved to get all the way up there to the bricks, but still a fantastic throw.
Once the nose gets up, it's going nowhere.
Yep. It's getting nosewhere.
Nosewhere.
Sorry, that was bad. That was my dad joke. Sorry, guys. You get one around.
And Coda off the trees. He's going to have a tricky shot from here. Gotta wonder, this might be a driver.
Great approach shot there. And at that distance, if you're not a player who plays a lot of catch, that's a tricky shot to practice because you're never really practicing an open headwind 110-footer. I mean, that's just not something you practice. So when you're faced with that in a tournament, it's a really difficult shot to execute unless you warm up in the round with that kind of throw.
Yeah. Eagle gonna lay up here smartly.
And that was a better shot than you would even know, and a great birdie there from Miles.
What a birdie, yeah.
And Eagle actually laid up to the headwind or to the tailwind side. He intentionally went long there. The other players just wanted to get to the bricks, but they're left with that headwind putt. And from this, and when you have an elevated basket, it's so crucial to have that tailwind putt there. So really smart play there from Eagle. That can easily go unrecognized, but Eagle's an experienced player, even though he's still less than 20 years old, which is really hard to imagine.
Yeah, it is amazing. Coda, after the great layup, able to just set in his par. That's got to be a good feeling after his drive was still in the trees.
So no casualties. We saw a lot of 4s round 1, and Miles with just a beautiful throw there. Low shot, navigates to the headwind perfectly. Well done.
Hole 12, par 3, 557 feet, and we have reached the very open, very windy section of the course. This is, I'm going to say, impossible to get a 2 on in today's weather, but a 4 is very possible. So what we're going to need to see here is just good, smart power drives under the wind as much as possible, and then likely drivers and overstable mid-ranges up to the green. It's going to be the guys who can give themselves a short putt that are going to have success here, just because it's going to be 35, 40 mile an hour wind up by the basket.
Yeah, this hole's extremely windy even on days where there's no wind. So, I mean, you can imagine what it's like in today. See if Eagle can make an adjustment after round one. He threw that thrower half shot, and he has thrown a beautiful shot low just over the hill into the headwind. That's going to be a nice, easy, I'd say maybe 75, 80 feet.
Nice. Bradley gets a little bit too flipped over.
It's going to be a little bit trickier than he'd like, I suppose. And
Ooh,
Chad
this is way up in the air.
Yep. You just wanted to get the power there, but that's the price you pay when you get the disc high up. It just doesn't go anywhere.
Yep.
I would be surprised if that went more than 300 feet.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more.
That as well is in that. That's the opposite mistake, trying to stay really under the wind, and this is a super tough shot.
And he's kept it out wide, and the air bounce, gosh, look at this thing. It's actually looking pretty decent, but...
That is a good shot, but that's going to be a very tough putt.
That's probably the longest a 220-foot shot has ever stayed in the air.
And Chad with a similar looking line needs us to get down.
Oh!
Look at the wind just blow it backwards on the skip.
And that's going to be one of the hardest 27-foot putts you'll ever have in your life.
Yeah, straight headwind.
And Bradley turned this over.
Again, a little bit too turned over. At least he's going to have some kind of tailwind, perhaps, or at least a side wind.
Yeah, that's paramount in this situation.
And Miles.
Oh, wow, look at that thing
Just
dancing
bouncing around like crazy.
What's it going to do? I feel like the FollowFlight's necessary there just to see how many different air bounce and air drops that thing took.
And this looks like Metal Flake Max.
And I was wrong in saying 80 feet. He was still well outside of 100. And man, we don't have...
I'm going to predict that only one player makes a putt.
I would be surprised if they did. I mean, Eagle has a great shot at it, but the rest of the group is not looking like they're in position to save the three. Wow, there it is.
Beautiful.
Finally. Great putt
three
from
for Miles. See if Eagle can get in there as well. Not quite.
The over-under of 1.
We've still got Chad.
Oh. Well, if he doesn't make that, that's going to put the average at 4, which is right about what it should be.
Yeah.
And that's too low.
Yeah, that's tough. Trying to make a special putt, and you end up getting punished into that strong wind.
Yeah, 3-putt is the... Going out of bounds and taking 3 putts is the number one thing to avoid in wind like this. However you can eliminate those unnecessary strokes, you're going to be gaining strokes on the field just by not taking unnecessary extra strokes. So
yeah, just by making the game easy.
Yep. You know, these conditions are not about doing the superhero thing. There's a time and there's a place where you feel like you have to step up and make a shot happen, but for the most part, it's all about course management, remembering to take your medicine, you know, help you hurt less.
Yeah, absolutely. Hole 13, 373 feet, par 3. You just got the one giant tree in the fairway. This is going to be a huge crush in today's conditions to get the disc up there, and also controlling that skip, making sure that the wind isn't getting under the disc late.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a tailwind here. It's going to be... I'm curious if these guys are going really overstable, or if they're going stable straight, or if they're going mid-ranges. We've got that one.
Just off the hole. Incredible.
And I guess it wasn't quite good enough to get the FollowFlight, which... Yeah.
How high and flat he threw that just speaks to how strong the tailwind is, because it's sort of a interesting thing, I think. When a tailwind gets this strong, it almost isn't good for distance anymore, because the disc just gets overtaken by the wind and gets smashed down. It can really be a strange conditions to throw the disc.
And Eagle had a really nice line there. On a normal day, that thing catches edge and rolls to the pin. And instead of that, you're going to see it here with Brad's shot as well. Just right as it's starting to do that little curl in, the wind pushes it away, and it takes it another 15, 20 feet further, which makes the world of difference.
Coda out wide, but it won't skip back. It'll just keep skipping straight with that wind. A little bit of curl at the end.
Yeah, maybe it died down just a bit there. We could tell it was not so favorable for Eagle's finish, but not so bad there for Coda. Chad, this has got a nice line. If this gets that forward push the other discs have been getting, this is going to be a really nice result.
Yeah.
And just sit down now. That's good.
Very solid.
It's a good shot.
Coda for the birdie. Really nice.
Great putt there. You can see his excitement. That's a double fist pump. The rare double fist pump basket tap. Wow, that's a combo right there.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Eagle has missed a couple putts lately. It's what was looking like a pretty commanding lead is shrinking fast.
Yeah, he's making it interesting.
Nice putt from Bradley.
And a good up and in there. Really nicely done. See if Chad can get... There it is.
Nice.
Good. Nice birdie execution. Great tee shot. A nice low direct putt right on the pole.
Eagle in for par. And Miles just has a slam dunk.
That's excellent.
4 birdies.
That is... And we
only
almost had
one-stroke
5.
lead for Eagle now.
Wow, and look at that. Just like that, Miles is back to being even for the round. We got a crush here.
Hole 14. Yeah, hole 14 is a par 3 all the way across the field and then pretty well into the woods, 470 feet. See if anybody can get back in there for a putt. It's going to be pretty impressive if any disc can get onto the putting surface from all the way back there.
And this is another hole with a bit of a tailwind. Kind of a right to left crosswind, actually, and the distance isn't necessarily the hardest part about this. It's just managing to avoid these trees, and I think maybe Miles is trying to throw a roller. It's kind of hard to tell. I haven't seen him throw many rollers in the past. Surprising to see Bradley go with a forehand here. Interesting. Oh, wow.
What just happened?
Okay. Looks like Bradley maybe hit.
I'm very confused by that.
I think he hit the head of a gopher, and we didn't see the gopher's head, but it definitely died right on impact.
Yeah, it definitely died, unfortunately. And here is Chad. Super tailwind, I think. The discs are just dropping so fast.
Wow. This is a time when Eagles steps up and usually throws some sort of shot that makes me go, how did you do that? Let's see if he can pull something off like that right now. Oh yeah, he's going over the top. Look at this.
Just needs it flatter, though, I feel.
Yeah, but wow, I mean, no problem with
Still
the 470 feet of distance. He's gone a bit long. Yeah. Just so hard to trust doing it that far right. And this is actually
going up and over.
On the left basket placement. There's 2 pins on this hole. There's one a little bit further to the right.
That was a fantastic shot from Brad.
Oh.
That was not a fantastic shot from Chad. Tough. He probably had a lot of trees in his way. Tester putt coming up there for Miles.
Yep, but you see he went with the forehand there to go against the wind there to avoid a big skip off to the left side of the basket, but he's still kind of got a little bit more distance than he'd like, that's for sure.
Chad for par. Gonna lay that up.
Oh, oh, oh.
Come on.
What? Okay.
That is some wind.
Yep, that is crazy ground action. Oh,
wow.
And a great putt there. I'm going to go ahead and credit the wind on that push out because that was a solid effort just off to the right side of the pole, but the wind had nothing to do with it, wanted nothing to do with it, and push it out. And I'm sure Eagle is over there thanking Bradley for having his approach shot trip his disc up.
And that splash out from Miles is going to allow Eagle to get back to the business of growing his lead instead of shrinking it like Miles had been making him do.
Yep, that's a smart thing to do right there. You don't want to even play with the chains.
No.
If you're close enough, just tap it in.
Hole 15, par 3, 410 feet. So we've got a much longer pin position than the drone is showing us here. Going to be tricky. Over the trees, under the trees, however you want to do it. There are a lot of them.
Yeah, round one, I was a bit surprised people were going over the top instead of taking this little archway tunnel that we have here. But I imagine for round two, we're going to see much lower shots because no need to go over the top when you have that much distance to cover. Oh, we actually have a new tee as well. So it's a completely new hole altogether.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it might be the same basket, just a new tee.
Yeah, it could be.
Looks to have gotten away from Coda just a bit there. Should be a fairly open approach. Eagle is trying to fight through the trees. Not quite.
Ooh. Bit of a grip block there. Wonder if that has anything to do with...
behind the tree.
Yeah, that's a bad break. And I think I'm going to start calling Chad Chadley when he does good things. When Chadley does good things, he's Chadley. And other times he's Chad. Or maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. I don't know what the more respectful thing to do is. But
maybe call him by his true name when he's kicking butt.
Yeah, I think that's probably more appropriate. But either way, Chatty Chatterson has kicked the tree. He's going to be about 50, 60 feet away or so. And here's Coda, who went long off the tee shot, having to come backwards. Oh,
what?
It's in! Oh, my goodness. And there's a shot from outside the circle. Coda drills it from 130 feet or so. What a highlight.
That was outside 4 or 5 circles.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
Man, that is awesome. Crowd loves it.
Nice shot there from Brad.
Yeah, everything's boring for the next couple throws after that, though.
Yeah, Eagle gonna be content to lay up here. It does look as though Miles is heading for a bogey.
And Chad, Chad. That's gonna mean that he's gonna have a tester putt left.
Miles up with a tap in left for his bogey. Eagle able to perhaps gain another stroke.
Oh, just off to the left side. You'll have to settle for a bogey, and this putt for par here for Eagle.
Brad for his 3.
Up and in.
Miles takes a 4, and Chad will also take a 4.
What a highlight for Coda Hatfield.
Yeah, huge too.
Awesome break. That he a foot to the right, a foot to the left, and he has a tough putt for par, but don't have to worry about that now. That was dead center. Awesome.
For sure. Hole 16, our final hole of the day. Par 3, downhill and to the right, 275 feet. Super well guarded green. Just going to see the pin come into view here around this right side. I think a forehand is a good play, but it's going to be tough to get the disc in there.
Yeah, we saw some overhand shots here. Looks like Coda is lining up maybe a thumber here. Yep. Kind of a sidearm thumber. So it pans down quick just as it has here. And
Fantastic.
What a way to finish it. Man, Coda's making a charge here at the end of the round.
Yeah, he is. Bradley is hoping for kind of a stall shot, but this is going to hyzer out a lot too much to the left. Oh, but never mind. Caught
Catches
by a
tree. I think he didn't like that he fluffed it a bit. It was a bit shorter than he was trying to go with. But here we see Eagle going for a thumber. And, every time I think I know what Eagle's going to do, he ends up doing something I didn't expect him to do. And here we go with another backwards rolling thumber. Just pulling out all the stops here. Yep, great shot there. And Miles goes with the backhand stall shot as well, and he looks like he has come up short, and that's no man's land right there. But the justice says hello.
Wow, what a break.
Forward.
I thought he was going to be behind that big island of trees and bushes and really have a tough spot, but turns out he's going to be just fine.
Captain America has shielded him from the harm of trouble.
Yeah.
And there's a
Man,
quick
the thumber. Is the
thumber.
play.
And that is kind of what happens when you throw the thumber sometimes, because that was really nice, but there's just no way to control what it's going to do when it hits the ground.
Yeah.
And Bradley is off
so
to the right
close.
side high. A really nice bid there, just a bit off.
Miles ends up with a pretty fantastic spot.
And Captain America.
Yeah, takes advantage.
Oh, yeah. Tough round for Miles. He scrapped his way through the round and is still in contention. So hats off to a strong effort on his end to really keep things going when the putt wasn't falling from early in the round. He had a nice stretch there towards the end, and overall, he's going to be satisfied that he's going to be in position going into round 3.
Yeah.
But Eagle just played really solid golf all day long. Managed to avoid having any sort of issues with wearing too tight of pants, perhaps. I don't know. I can't tell. I wasn't wearing them, so I don't know. But
he didn't have any issues, that's for sure.
7 under for Eagle. 2 players at 4 under. And man,
those are our top 3 players right now. And look at that tie at 1 under. A lot of guys trying to make their way onto the final round lead card. We will have 24 holes coming to you for round 3 to decide our champion here at the 27th Annual Veterans Park Open. Thank you guys for tuning in and joining us. Thank you to Ideal Discs, Legacy Discs, and Kratom. And thank you to Germ and Jomez as well. We're having fun out here, and we hope you guys tune in for the final round.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. And Nate, Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays to you.
Oh, yeah, you too, man.